Hi, I'm George Crump, lead analyst with Storage Switzerland. Thank you for joining us today. We're continuing our coverage of the Dell Enterprise Forum. Joining me now is Arjuna Chala, Director of Technology at LexisNexis. How are you doing today?
Good, very good, thank you.
So I sat through your presentation here at the forum. You guys are focused obviously on big data, and you're looking. Why don't you tell us a little bit what LexisNexis is doing internally with big data, and we'll talk about kind of the new venture.
Sure. So LexisNexis is a global provider of risk-based workflow solutions. What that really means is, let's say a bank is dealing with a subject who wants a loan, right? So if they want to provide a loan, they want to evaluate what is the risk of providing this loan to this subject. It could be a subject, could be a business, or it could be a person.
Okay.
Right? So to be able to evaluate that, they need a lot of data points. And we have those data points. And we have services that provide scores or algorithms around those data points.
And so basically you assemble all those data points for them and kind of give them
a service.
A service on
exactly
that.
Right. Exactly
okay.
Right. Same thing goes, for example, if a trucking company wants to hire a driver, right? So we want to make sure he's not had any prior DUIs, is accident-free, all those details. So how do they do that? Again, these are details that we host as a data repository, and we can provide services on top of this repository.
Okay, well that makes sense. And then so what I found interesting is you guys have sort of taken that, I guess, best practices and skill set you've learned in doing that, and now you are looking at basically offering it as an external service, I guess, to people that might have a similar need. Is that?
Yeah, so one of the challenges that we had about 8 years back when we built this platform is the data growth, the size of the data. The traditional relational databases and the available technologies could not satisfy this requirement of processing, and the processing speeds and the delivery of this data.
Right.
So we built a big data platform. The big data platform has really two components to it. One is for the ETL processing and the analytics part. And the other one is once you finish the ETL processing and the analytics, how do you deliver this data to your end customer? So both these components has been built into this platform, right? And we open sourced it in 2011. So the awareness has grown after that. And we are seeing a lot of input and a lot of potential interest from customers.
What would be a typical client that would, or a customer that would be interested in that type of a platform?
So a typical customer would be, for example, somebody who's trying to solve a master data management problem where they have data from several different databases, which is typical in the United States because companies grow via acquisitions. They acquire smaller companies or multiple companies. So that means they have to integrate all these databases from these companies into a single repository. To be able to do that, they will have to uniquely identify each record in this database, right? And to achieve that in a traditional relational database setup or any other infrastructure is rather difficult, right? Our platform does that very effectively. It has been built to do that. And that's an example of what it can be used.
So tell me how this would compare to something like a Hadoop.
One of the reasons why we did open source this platform was because Hadoop went into this marketplace. But at that point in time, this is 2011, we found that, or we realized that we were at least 3 years ahead of the Hadoop technology at that point in time.
Okay.
But if we did not open source it at that point, we realized also that from 5 years from now, that we might be looking at migrating our services to something like Hadoop. So the whole idea of open sourcing our HPCC platform was to stay relevant by offering a much more superior quality product than what Hadoop has. The key thing to understand here is that all the analytics, all the analytical pieces that is needed for your typical data processing job is built into the HPCC platform. In addition, we have all the data delivery capability also built in. So once you have finished the analytics and you want to deliver the services to your customer, that is also built into the platform. The reason why it's built into the platform is the LexisNexis business needs this level of service from the platform. So it is production ready and production tested. So that's the key differentiating factors from if you compare it to Hadoop.
Okay, but similar, it's kind of shared nothing architecture. I guess there's some similar traits to it as well.
Yes, yes. So both the platforms are built on the premise of a shared nothing architecture where the algorithm has to run close to the data. That's the whole idea behind the platform. But the key differentiating there is really Hadoop is more like a framework, whereas HPCC has all the analytical skills that is needed to process your data process jobs built into the platform already.
Okay. So maybe a little bit more of a turnkey type of solution?
Right, right. In the case of Hadoop, you'll have to hire MapReduce developers, you'll have to hire statisticians, you'll have to hire all this and bring them together to make a solution work.
Okay.
In our case, because we've worked on this for so long, we've built all this underpinning functionality and algorithms into the platform itself.
So obviously we're at Dell Enterprise Forum. Let's talk a little bit about how Dell fits into your guys' strategy.
Dell and us, we've been working for a very long time, right? When we came out with the big data platform about 8 years ago, there were several potential problems that we discovered as far as hardware infrastructure is concerned, networking is concerned. But from that point in time, we have been working very closely with Dell to not only identify those problems, but also provide solutions around those problems. So it has been a relationship that has matured over 8 years, and now we provide a completely end-to-end big data platform together with the hardware provided by Dell and the reference architecture provided by Dell and the software pieces provided by HPCC systems.
And I'm assuming you're using some of their high-density systems?
Yes, we are specifically very proud of the C6200 series and the C6100 series because of their high-density capacity. That means less floor space, less power.
Yeah, dozens of terabytes a node, right? Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, and then I also caught that you were working a little bit with the Dell Cloud as well?
We are, because one of the things that customers are looking for is really a solution. They're not looking to host a massive infrastructure around the solution in their data centers. So they really want a solution, and if you go and look at the solution they want, it's really a big data problem they're trying to solve. But how do you make this work where the customer does not actually have to host everything on their premise is by offering a cloud or a cloud solution or a platform as a service solution, right? So we're working closely with Dell to provide this infrastructure.
Great. Well, thank you for jumping in the booth with us today and explaining what you guys are doing with the product.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Yeah. I'm George Crump, lead analyst with Storage Switzerland. Thank you for joining us.